TikTok. Fucking shit, man. I didn't even want to know it at first. Only 2 years ago, person that I back then knew and talked with kind of persuaded me to, go on TikTok. I was very reluctant, I'm very skeptic to all these new platforms that are really big now. Yeah, so, but at first I was only, until like, I think this winter I wasn't really seriously there. I mean, I did upload stuff like, first it was pictures and then later I started, doing some bass playing videos of myself and stuff, my own music and other music, also famous stuff. And then what went pretty well, and that made me keep on, doing it. And that's all right. I mean, why not reach out to other people through music? Is there a better way, really, to do it, to reach out to others across the internet? But then, later on, as it's a typical scenario. It's a night, a winter night. You are bored, and you start to check out these live streams, and that's what really, that's how it all began. The worst part of it. I mean, yeah. When I first started, I started following these people from where I come from, originally Bosnia, and it was mostly like girls in their 20s and mostly makeup. Also there are many men and boys and stuff. Let's say young men who stream, but I don't really follow much of them. So yeah, anyway, some of these girls look really nice, at first, but it's all just an act, man. I mean, when I found out that actually they get money, I mean, there is this thing. It's called. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. There, they play a match against someone else, who has a big channel there, who streams, and you send them gifts, and they try to win a match by getting most gifts, like, or the most expensive gifts. So yeah, of course, that I started doing it as well, just to be, the fun, But yeah, I mean, when I realized how much money you spend, like per month, on some people spend really incredible amounts of money on that bullshit. I mean, I just couldn't believe it when I heard recently there was this guy who said how he spent thousands in one day. Like, you know, it's just appalling. It's hair raising. Of course. What else can I say? It's mind boggling. And these young women, like, they actually don't even hide their goal by being there. They say stuff like, "Oh, I need money so I can buy a car, or a new car, or I can get whatever new breast implants," and that's really kind of a shocker. I mean, I knew that it was this bad, that it had gone straight to hell. The youth, to put it that way, down there and everywhere, pretty much today now. I mean, they are. I don't want to be too cruel, but like many of them aren't worth much. I mean, as people, as human beings, they just back talk others who are their rivals. Who also have channels and talk shit in their live streams and curse and young girls or women don't who don't behave in any way as a girl or woman in that age should, or any woman in any age, like like cursing and using really foul words and finding that really amusing or even cool at some extent, to some extent. Yeah, I just now decide I'm not going to be a part of that whole thing, anymore. Especially the streams, and I'm not gonna, TikTok anymore. I don't think I'll put out more videos either because my last ones suddenly have been getting much less views than before. So now I don't even have that reason to be on TikTok anymore. You know, it's just yeah. Sometimes you may find it interesting to follow people. Maybe you have seen some of them on TV, let's say in a reality show. So yeah, you you find it interesting to be able to watch them in real life, like just go about their usual daily business, their daily routine. But you know, the problem is they expect everybody who has been there for a while at least on their channel to send gifts, to spend money. And sometimes it's not even enough if you spend, if you spend enough money. I mean, they are not satisfied even then if you don't use them, those gifts, the right way. It's just so fucking moronic, man. There's a certain they have a certain there are certain rules, and like I would sometimes send this gift and I would get like uh, uh you know reprimanded, whatever you call it, for not using it at the right time. Like I'm like, how am I supposed to know? Nobody told me, and like you spend money and you get told off for it, for not spending it at the right time, like, or sending that gift at the right time. How moronic is that? I mean, it's terrible. This is just this despicable, disgusting. The whole thing now with these whole the Patreon. I already talked about this. Patreon, OnlyFans, and now this all the ways how people, and this is always about, let's put it this way, women have to be good looking. I haven't seen a single one that is over there. All right, of all those that are successful anyway on TikTok. Men gotta be kind of either macho or cool or whatever, funny. And yeah, for men it's a little different. It's not just, but some of them are also good looking. Yeah, but not all. So yeah, I mean, this age of streaming is I mean, is just taken a totally wrong turn. It's going in a totally wrong direction. I mean, you have also streams now with people kind of threaten each other and with violence and sometimes it does. I mean, most times, fortunately, it doesn't happen. There's no violence, doesn't result in actual violence, physical. But sometimes it does actually also. So that's why I think everybody's channel who is involved even in that kind of activity should be banned definitely. And yeah, so it's a very despicable time, and it is a very cruel time and unfriendly time. And there are, of course, there are some exceptions. I have come across some even positive channels over there with rather, let's say, positive live streams, but not many. Definitely not many. Definitely. And then all these people whose goal is to make money, they pretty much suck, you know. The only really positive channels are these channels who don't ask for anything, you know, sniping or whatever you call sharing, liking, sending gifts. It's all bullshit, man. But that's what these channels revolve around, right? So the only positive ones are I have seen in our channels where you talk about, you know, problems like maybe mental health or stuff like that. Sorry, where was I? Yeah, I mean, these channels who were the hosts don't really, their goal isn't to play stupid, silly, childish games. I mean, and I've seen the worst part of this all, I've seen men, like men and women, who are like in their 50s and 60s, probably, you know, do this shit, silly shit with the games and gifts and sniping and all that shit. Whoever, you know, fuck that guy, whoever invited, I mean, sorry, invented that whole, those fucking terms and actions. You know. So, yeah, I mean, I have come across, as I said, some positive channels, but not many. There are some, you know, also channels, I mean, where you talk about your, you know, health and stuff and how to be happy, and that's all good. It helps people cope. But there are also some nice channels by some young people there, where you just chat basically and talk. You don't have to send anything, you don't have to spend any money. That's really great. But too much, like down there in that area where I come from, the Balkans and former Yugoslavia, it's all about money. It disgusts me. It's fucking despicable. It's all about getting free money so you can do whatever you want. Women to, you know, get new get breast implants or whatever, nose job or a car, and men to get also maybe a new car or whatever, you know, whatever. Buy a place maybe on in at the Adriatic, some kind of villa or something, a house there, so they can go there, you know. So you know they are. It's bullshit, man. I mean, I know this guy. He's very famous. He's from Bosnia. He apparently they say he earns like 30,000 euros a month doing this bullshit. What else can I say? That's enough. And I've seen him. I've seen him on some streams. I've seen that guy. He's nothing really special to watch. He's not very clever or wise or anything. He just somehow, you know, has learned all the tricks and he has devoted enough time to doing this shit. And you know, I mean, I don't understand. Like, all right, with youth, like who are maybe studying still in college or whatever, or haven't, you know, don't have a job or whatever yet. But there are, this guy is like, I don't know, 45, 50. He's got a job actually. And how does he find enough time to do all that bullshit? I mean, sometimes they do this from their own working place, and you know, yeah, I mean, it's just despicable. That's the only word really for it. So yeah, it's all about getting money from, you know, for doing nothing really. For women to look good and, you know, talk shit to each other, and men to, you know, crack wise cracks and do whatever, curse. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's all I can say. This isn't leading anywhere good, alright? Alright, bye.